Right now at noon, the KBI pushes for new lead as an Independence murder investigation reaches the 3-year mark.
And it's turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous day across the area, albeit a bit breezy. We'll tell you how long this gorgeous weather is going to last and if any rain chances are on the way coming up.
And the president travels to his ancestral homeland.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The KBI offers a $5,000 reward to help solve a 3-year-old murder investigation in southeast Kansas. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Tapping our first 7 minutes, a governor's reward for information leading to an arrest or conviction of the person responsible for the disappearance of Dietrich Foster. Now, Foster was 37 years old when he was reported missing in 2020. He was last seen in Independence, Kansas, 3 years ago on April 12th. Investigators believe Foster was murdered. If you have any information about his disappearance and suspected murder, contact the Independence Police or the KBI at 1-800-KS-CRIME. Voters in Pittsburgh give the green light to continue a public safety sales tax. The 0.05% tax originally went into effect in 2014 and is used by the police department to fund new staffing, technology, and equipment. It passed with a vote of 649 yes to 135 no. Well, golf carts are a popular mode of transportation for many folks, particularly in residential areas. But when you move from the links to the streets, Carl Junction police want to remind drivers of the potential dangers. The CJPD issued a warning recently to citizens, urging them to obtain the proper license to operate golf carts on streets.
Some parents also don't understand that if it is found that they were allowing their child to drive a golf cart illegally, then they can be cited for allowing an unlicensed driver to operate a motor vehicle. So this is something that's been enough of a concern that we put a Facebook post out to make sure that the citizens of Carl Junction are aware of the situation.
Anyone 15 or older and operating a golf cart illegally is subject to a traffic ticket and would be required to pay a fine with the city court. Well, if it weren't for the wind outside, it'd be a great day to go golfing. Chris Warner joins us with the first look at the forecast.
And in some instances, depending on how you play, that wind could work to your advantage, but for those good golfers out there, that wind definitely not helpful. And it has been a bit breezy. We knew it would be. It's not overly breezy, but windy for sure. Quick camera tour. Look at this. Beautiful blue skies from 7th and Range Line. Clear skies from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line. However, not so clear roads, but it is the lunch hour. And it's a nice sunny day, even at the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. We are still watching those thunderstorm chances heading into Friday. We've got the elevated risk in yellow, and we've got the low end risk in the dark green. You see, it just barely crosses the state line. We are keeping an eye on that. Still a number of possibilities with that scenario as we head into Friday, and we'll break that down in more detail here in just a few more minutes. Started yesterday at 51. That's been our magic number here lately. Made it up to 76. So again, well above our averages for this time of year, and we're headed that direction yet again today. 72 Fort Scott, 74 Chanute, 73 Parsons, 70 Chetopa, Miami, 71 Neosho, and 72 in Carthage in Joplin. What we're keeping an eye on is this beautiful day for us today, albeit a little bit on the breezy side out there, and we're still watching those Friday storm chances heading into the evening and overnight hours. We'll take a complete look at your full forecast and those storm chances and another potential round of storms next week here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Louisville Metro Police released body cam video showing officers responding to the deadly mass shooting inside the Old National Bank on Monday. Police say the quick response and bravery helped save lives. A total of 5 bank employees were killed and 8 others wounded. 3 of those injured are still in the hospital, including a rookie officer who was shot in the head. Later today, audio from 911 calls may be released and a vigil is planned. President Biden is in Northern Ireland celebrating the Good Friday peace agreement made 25 years ago. The president reaffirmed U.S. commitment to that deal and discussed economic opportunities in the north before he headed south to the Republic of Ireland. CBS's Ian Lee reports.
Cheering crowds greeted President Biden as he traveled through Belfast in Northern Ireland. He's celebrating the anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, a historic deal 25 years ago that ended the violence known as the Troubles.
Preserving the Belfast Good Friday Agreement is a priority for Democrats and Republicans alike in the United States.
The president's pledge comes amid new threats of violence and ongoing political instability. This week, local police say they discovered 4 pipe bombs in the coastal town of Londonderry. Authorities believe Catholics opposed to British rule planted the explosives. Earlier in the day, President Biden met with UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak.
We spoke in particular about the incredible economic opportunities that are there in store for Northern Ireland.
A point President Biden emphasized in Belfast.
There are scores of major American corporations wanting to come here, wanting to invest.
Most of the president's trip will be spent south of the border in the Republic of Ireland, tracing his Irish heritage like previous presidents from Kennedy to Obama. President Biden will stop in County Louth, home to ancestors on his mother's side, and Friday he heads to the tiny town of Ballina, home to his father's side.
So this house behind me is where Joe Biden's ancestors left Ireland. Their ancestors left after the famine.
The president hopes his 4-day trip honoring the past will help bring the Emerald Isle a brighter future. Ian Lee, CBS News.
That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, a Kansas woman recounts a scary encounter she recently had with a pack of coyotes. And later, we're making a barbecue pulled pork grilled cheese in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, a Wichita, Kansas woman wants to warn others after she experiences quite a terrifying encounter with coyotes. Joe Baker shares her story.
Adara Van Ravensway says it was a scary scene for her at a South Wichita park this week. Adara says last Monday she was walking her 3 dogs here at Chapman Park near the tree line. Then she turned around and saw a couple of coyotes.
There were 2 big coyotes about 25 feet back from me. And I tried to scare them off. You're supposed to clap, scream, frighten them. However, this didn't startle them. They started to move towards me and my dogs to pursue us.
Adara thanks her 2.5-year-old Doberman dog, Shilas. She believes she and her dog's lives were potentially saved. She says Shilas ran the coyotes off multiple times before they ultimately gave up chasing after them.
Pure terror. I had fear mainly for my 3 dogs. I would have blamed myself, if something happened, because I was not prepared with any protection. We'd never encountered coyotes here, so I didn't think that would be a threat.
The Humane Society of the United States says coyote attacks on humans are rare, but experts say if you encounter a coyote and it's aggressive, yell at it, wave your arms, or throw something near the animal.
I would avoid dusk and dawn walks. They can be seen at any time of day, though. They're not strictly nocturnal. I've been advised now to carry a walking stick on me. Air horns are actually the best thing you can use because that loud sound should startle them off.
Adara says she contacted police and was connected with a wildlife specialist in the state who says the behavior the coyotes displayed during their encounter is very odd. Adara also says the specialist believes that coyotes are becoming desensitized to people.
I don't know if I'll be walking my dogs here any further. Not until there's maybe word if they find these coyotes and remove them from the park.
Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Grilled cheese has never tasted so good. Stick around and see how we're taking it to a whole new level.
And as we continue to experience very pleasant conditions here in the 4 states, we are watching storm chances on Friday. We'll take a full look at that forecast when we come back. Well, we've had ourselves an absolutely beautiful day across the area, although it's been a wee bit on the breezier side, and it's going to stay that way. In fact, it's going to get windier as we head into our Thursday. However, after that, we are watching the possibility of some strong, maybe severe thunderstorms as we head into our Friday evening and into the overnight. So we showed you this earlier, but you can see the yellow is an elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms Friday. At green is a low risk, and it just barely crosses the state line. And then just thunderstorms east of that. However, there's the possibility on a number of scenarios that some of these storms if they even get going on Friday, could survive at least into extreme portions of western Missouri. So that would include up through Nevada, Lamar, Joplin, Carthage, Neosho, Anderson, before they start to die down. One of the variables in place is what we call the cap. You've heard Doug talk about this. It's a layer of warm air that stops thunderstorms from being able to develop. So what's happening is we're going to have a dry line that's going to set up. Ahead of this dry line, we're going to have almost all of the ingredients in place for strong to severe thunderstorms Friday evening. However, there's going to be that cap in place across most of the region. Now, there's some question as to how strong the cap is going to be by the time we get to Friday evening. If it holds its own, we could get 1 or 2 storms, and then that would be it. If the cap happens to break, then we've got a better shot of a few more widespread strong to severe thunderstorms. So a number of variables within the next roughly 48 hours that we're going to continue to monitor. So here's what some of the thinking is. Here's Friday at 1 o'clock. Some of the other longer range models were showing this as well. Maybe a few showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder in southeast Kansas. That is brief. Then we head into the evening. Here's 7 o'clock. This is where that dry line is, and these are the thunderstorms that could start to fire up. And if they do, given the atmospheric conditions, they could intensify rather quickly as they race off to the east. So here we are at about 11 o'clock Friday night. You can see the stronger storms starting now to cross the state line into Missouri, but you can see once they do, they begin to pretty quickly die out. So there's a lot of factors that we're going to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. All right, 7th in range line looks great. Another little camera tour for you. 20th in range line. Excuse me, swallowed too much oxygen. We've got plenty of cars and plenty of clear skies. We also have plenty of windy conditions. KDOT camera 69 and 400 looks great as well. So why don't we take a look at those current conditions and see what we've got going on. 72 in Joplin. Very dry though, dew points down, humidity's not very high, so that makes burning not too safe today. South-southwest breeze at 15, gusting to 26 in Joplin. And over in Pittsburgh, we're at 69, south-southwest breeze at 16, gusting to 24. So it is up there. It's not as extreme as it's going to be tomorrow. We're talking, and by extreme I should say, tomorrow we're looking at 30, 35 mile an hour wind gusts. 70 Iola, 74 Chanute, 70 Chetopa, Miami, 71 Neosho, 72 Carthage, and 71 Lamar, Nevada. And as we go through the rest of the day, still expected to make highs mid to upper 70s. Could still see a few passing clouds, remaining breezy. We will remain breezy as we head into this evening. However, we will be clear down to 57 by midnight, overnight low of 51. Going into tomorrow, some partly cloudy skies, otherwise another very warm, very breezy day. So we head back to the mid-70s. Friday, regardless of the storm, still looking to be near 80 degrees. A little cooler Saturday, 62. Not bad for us on Sunday and Monday. However, take a look at Tuesday. That's where we're watching the possibility of another round of strong to severe thunderstorms. So we are getting into severe weather season in the 4 states, and we're just going to see that over the next several weeks as we go through spring, where it's going to start to get strong to severe. After that, though, not too bad. Back into the 60s, maybe a few more showers by next Friday. So our temperatures are going to return to normal. It's going to feel quite cool compared to where we are now, but they're going to return to normal, and we have these 2 different systems that we're watching Friday night and then Tuesday evening.
Yeah, and all in all, that's not uncomfortable. Like 60s, 70s, this is where we want to be this time of year.
Yeah, these are perfect temperatures. We don't want to be in the 80s because then that could signal hundreds for the summer, and we don't want that. And
I'm looking at those low temperatures. Those seem safe for plants in the ground.
They certainly do.
Yeah, good to see. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making barbecue pulled pork grilled cheese after the break. Did you know it's National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day? Everyone knows grilled cheese sandwiches are good, but grilled cheese sandwiches with pulled pork and coleslaw are even better. Howard shows us how to make them in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You know, it's not like we need an excuse to make a grilled cheese sandwich, but just in case you feel like you do, no problem, because today is National Grilled Cheese Day. It's not exactly the type of holiday you plan a vacation around or you take off from work for. But it is a day that I think is worth celebrating. So here's how we're going to do it. We start by laying out 4 slices of sourdough or a hearty white bread and topping each with a slice of sharp cheddar cheese. On top of that, we pile on some barbecue pork. And the weeknight easy way to do that is to pick up a container of pre-cooked pulled barbecue pork from the refrigerated section of your market. Now, over that, we spoon on some coleslaw and more cheese, which will make this extra ooey gooey. Now we put on another slice of bread and butter each side before placing them on a griddle. Once both sides are toasted and the cheese begins to melt, it's time to call the troops to the table. With its melty cheese, the tanginess of the barbecue pork, and the buttery toasted bread, this is not your everyday grilled cheese. So in honor of this special day, why not go online and get the recipe for our barbecue pulled pork grilled cheese? So come dinner time, you'll be ready with a 5-ingredient meal that's always welcome. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a messy in a good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Ooh, and the coleslaw too. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Breezy today, up to 76, maybe a little bit warmer. Same tomorrow, but a little bit breezier. Watching thunderstorm chances as we head into Friday afternoon, evening, and overnight. And we're watching the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms again on Tuesday. But in between those 2 days, not too bad. Temperatures in the 60s, sunny skies.
Yeah, you can't complain about those temperatures. It's spring finally.
Yes, it's real nice.
What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, it's Autism Acceptance Month. In Health Watch, we're going to meet a family who's taking part in the world's largest ongoing study for autism. Plus, Cherokee County Sheriff's Office is taking part in Project Child Safe with free gun locks. And it's the annual Construction Expo at Pitt State as some companies are showcasing robots to offset labor shortages. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.